How we doing, my brothers and sisters in Christ? Welcome back to the channel. I believe I found something extremely interesting. This is amazing. I've been working on something else, doing a lot of praying because I know I'm right there. Like, I know I found something. I just couldn't put it all together. And I said a long prayer before I came into work today, and all of a sudden it hit me like a ton of bricks. So I think you guys are really going to enjoy this video. Thank you for all the prayers. Obviously, you can hear in my voice. I am feeling better. I'm not 100%, but I will take even 50% better than I was a few days ago. So thank you for the prayers. If you have prayers, put them in the comments. We will lift each other up in these perilous times, these last days that we're living in. I really do believe that the rapture is so close. I can feel it. Like, I literally have like those butterflies in my stomach, just waiting on that call to come home. So if you have prayers, put them in the comments. Let's lift each other up. It's what this channel is all about. All right, so where are we going to start? So I was looking at the story of Joshua, and I was looking at Miriam, Aaron, and Moses. So let's go there. Let's see. In the same year that Miriam died, nearly 5 months later, Aaron the high priest died. All right, we jumped ahead. Sorry, let's go here. Miriam the prophetess died at the age of 126 or 127 years old. I believe it was 127, okay? She was the oldest of the three. She died on the 10th day of Nisan, all right? That is the day, a year later to the day that Joshua entered into the promised land. That is also the day that Jesus rode into Jerusalem on the colt or the donkey. All right, so it's the day of entering into the promised land. In the year 2047, almost exactly 1 year before the children of Israel entered the promised land. All right, so remember 127 years old, Nisan 10, but don't worry, I have this all on something else so you don't need to really remember it, but just kind of keep it in the back of your mind. Now we go to Aaron. Now remember, Miriam was 127 when she died. In the same year that Miriam died, nearly 5 months later, Aaron the high priest passed away. Aaron died on the first day of Av in the year 2047. He was 123 years old when he died, being 3 years older than Moses. All right, so Moses, we know, died at 120, but we'll go there. Where did I save that at? Let's see. Here we go. So this is Deuteronomy chapter 31, verse 1. And Moses went and spake these words unto all Israel, and he said unto them, I am 120 years old this day. So Adar 7, which we got from Nisan 10. Remember, we went the 33 days back, the 30 days of mourning, and then 3 days before Joshua entered the promised land, the Lord spoke to him and said, hey, prepare the people these 3 days, gather victuals and then go into the land. So we have a total of 33 days. Counting back from Nisan 10, you come to Adar 7. All right, so let's go to there. So Moses went and spake these words unto all Israel, and he said to them, I am 120 years old this day. I can no more go out and come in. Also the Lord have said unto me, thou shalt not go over this Jordan. The Lord thy God, he will go over before thee, and he will destroy these nations before thee, and thou shalt possess them, and Joshua, he shall go over before thee, as the Lord have said. All right, so let's go here. This is what I put on Repo Man 64's Discord. I found something really interesting. All right, the date of death, Miriam, Nisan 10 at 127. Aaron, 1st of Av at 123. Moses, Adar 7 at 120. All right, we know that there's 120 jubilees that man was allotted, all right, the 6,000 years. So looking at this, and this blew me away. So Moses died on Adar 7. He was born and died on on Adar 7, and he died at 120 years of age. So that's like the Jubilee starting on Adar 7, and the 120 of Jubilee is going to end on Adar 7. Now, according to Repo Man's calendar, and I'll show you that here in a little bit, that's February 21st. All right, so that's coming up. So from Moses to Aaron, looking at year and month, It's 3 years, and Adar's the 12th month. Av is the 5th month. So you have 3.5 years, just like the tribulation. All right, in Av, let's go there. What happened in Av? In the 7th, you can see there the 1st of Av, death of high priest Aaron. So that was on the 1st of Av. 7th of Av, where's it at? Holy temples, I'm sorry. Where's it at? Okay, here we go. 7th of Av, the first temple evaded by King Nebuchadnezzar. Now go to 2 days later, on the 9th of Av, holy temples destroyed by the Babylonians and Romans. So 2 temples destroyed and 1 invaded by Nebuchadnezzar. All right. So the 3.5 years from Adar 7 is going to be the start of the Great Tribulation. That's going to be the abomination of desolation, which is just amazing. All right. So let's go back to the timeline. So we have Moses at Adar 7, the 120th Jubilee running out. 3.5 years later, that's represented by Aaron. We're going to have the desolation of the temple, the start of the Great Tribulation, the last 3.5 years. Now look at this. 7 years from Moses was Miriam. On Nisan 10, she died at 127. Nisan 10 was the day that Joshua and the Israelites entered the Promised Land. Jesus rode into Jerusalem on Palm Sunday on the colt or foal of a donkey, all pointing to that's when we're going to enter into the millennial temple, the millennial kingdom. It's amazing. This was all laid out in this story of the 40 years wandering in the desert that last year before they entered into the Promised Land. So let's go to the calendar. These are using Repo Man's dates. So Wednesday, February 21st, 2024 is Adar 7. It's when Moses died. It's when the Jubilee runs out. Now we go to Nisan 10, according to Repo Man. That's on March 26th. I went 7 years. Remember, from Moses to Miriam was 7 years. So Wednesday, March 26, 2031, look at that, is 2,590 days. So I'm only off 5 days. So either we're going to go on February 26th, which is usually the month right around Purim, or the millennium's not going to start until March 30th, the cross. So 5 days, one or the other, is going to bring you to 2,595 instead of 2,590. I got to show you that real quick. Let's go bring out the old calculator here. So the first 3.5 years, 1,260, plus 3.5 years, 1,260. Now, they had the 30, remember, because it's 1,290. So that brings you to 2,550. But blessed are they that make it to the 1,335. So that's an extra 45 days. Look at that, 2,595. Using the story of Moses, Aaron, and Miriam, the dates of their death, and Miriam and Moses are 7 years apart, I literally came to 2,590, only 5 days difference. Like I said, maybe we don't leave until Purim, or maybe the millennium doesn't start until the anniversary of the cross. It's just incredible. Let's see if there was anything else I want to show you. Nope, I believe that was it. So let's go back to this. So Moses was born and died on Adar 7 at 120, representing the start and the end of the 120 Jubilees. All right, we're going to be raptured before that or right around that time. We have to be. All right, Aaron, 1st of Av. So Adar is the 12th month. Av is the 5th month. So you have the 3.5 year mark right there. And I showed you what all happened in Av. Look at that. 1st of Av. First temple invaded by King Nebuchadnezzar on the 7th. Then you go to the 9th of Av. 2 holy temples destroyed. One by the Babylonians, one by the Romans. All right, that's going to be the Antichrist. That's going to be the abomination of desolation right around that first week of Av. And then 3.5 years from that, you come to Nisan 10, 7 years from Moses' death, representing the total 7-year tribulation. Nisan 10, we will be entering into the millennial kingdom, just like Joshua and the Israelites went into the promised land, just like Jesus rode in on that day on Palm Sunday victoriously into Jerusalem, representing what he's going to do 2,000 years from that day. It's amazing, guys. It was all in this story. I knew it was something to do with Moses. I did those videos. I kept looking at Moses. I kept looking at everything, and I knew it was there. I just couldn't put it all together. And all of a sudden, God gave me this. I 100%. I was praying before work. I said, Lord, give me wisdom beyond my years. Give me understanding that, through your spirit. There's no way that I can understand this. I'm having difficulty. I even said, I'm looking at the 11:11. I'm looking at the Jubilee. I'm looking at everything, Lord, but I'm not putting it all together. And all of a sudden, literally just like boom, 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 boom. I pulled all of this out. I was like, no way these dates. And I put the dates in with the years, and it literally came to the 2,590 days of the from start to finish of the tribulation. And it all matches up. The Av being the 3.5 year temple is going to be desecrated. 3.5 years from there, the date that all throughout the Bible on Nisan 10 is when we enter in the promised land. It's incredible. Jesus was foretelling this 2,000 years ago when he rode into Jerusalem on the donkey or on the colt, however you want to say it, that he was showing on Nisan 10 is when we would be starting this millennium. I'm literally blown away. I really feel like the rapture is so soon. Look at this. Miriam the prophetess died at either age 126, I believe it was 127, and most people agree with me. She was the oldest of the three. She died on the 10th day of Nisan. Then here's Aaron. In the same year that Miriam died, nearly 5 months later, Aaron the high priest passed away. Aaron died on the first day of Av, being 123 years old. And Moses died. I showed you that. He said, today I turn 120. And he passed away on that day. So he was born. The Jubilee started on Adar 7, and it ends on Adar 7, 120 years later. This is the last Jubilee, and I can show you that real quick. So, 70 Jubilees from the time that they entered the Promised Land is what they were told. All right, so you minus the 70 years that they were in Babylonian captivity because they were not in the land those 70 years, so you minus that. They entered the Promised Land in 1406. Look what year. It has to end. It has to end on 2024. And I believe we just got the date that it ends is Adar 7, which according to Repo Man's timeline is February 21st. Now, I had 5 days difference, so it's either going to be like a 5-day delay, like a rapture on February 26th, February 27th, which puts us right at Purim, or instead of Nisan 10, it's going to go a few days more, and it's going to be the anniversary of the cross on March 30th. It's incredible. This timeline has been a blessing. All thanks to the Holy Spirit. He deserves all of it. So let me know what you guys think. Like I said, I am in shock when I put this all together. It all matches up beautifully. There's so many good videos out there. Repo Man 64, I love his last couple of videos. God's Land Done Under, I really like what he's digging out of Esther. Steve Fletcher 222 is doing an amazing job. Supernatural by Design, I'm really loving his stuff. All the stuff that he's putting out there is incredible. Highly recommend his last video. And and I do have a thought on that Hollywood keeps using the deer, or he called it a reindeer, it's a deer, to represent the rapture. Well, I started thinking about it. It's never a doe, it's always a buck. So they always have, like the rack of antlers. Well, a deer's antlers are always pretty much always symmetrical on either side. So does Hollywood know about this? Same on the left, same on the right. This equal parts thing. I think Hollywood's in the know of it as well. They might have actually been ahead of it before we found out. We kept looking at this stuff. So pretty neat that they're using a deer to represent the rapture. I think it has a lot to do with the antlers being the same on either side. So they know something that we don't for sure. But I believe that we are finding the date of the rapture. I think God is revealing this stuff to us. It's not just one person. He's revealing it to all these channels. So many good channels. Sorry if there's another channel out there I watched that I didn't mention. Keep up the good work. We are so close to going home. Please let me know what you guys think of this. I think it's just an amazing timeline that God gave us, and I'm very thankful for it. All right, I love you guys. Got one more day of work, then Super Bowl Sunday. How about that? Some of you guys are looking at that as a high watch date. I hope so, but if not, I think it's right around the corner. I love you guys. Goodbye.